Hi, I'm Betty. Welcome to my kitchen. Today is day 2 of our 12 days of the best Christmas cookies ever. In our house, they're Christmas cookies, but in your house, they can be cookies for any holiday or indeed any occasion. So let's go with meringue kisses, and the ingredients are very simple. I have 3 egg whites, which I have at room temperature. These were left over from some other baking or cooking, and I froze them. Egg whites freeze really well. So I'm going to start whisking these. I've got my mixer fitted with the whisk attachment, as you can see. And I'm just going to let these go for a few minutes till they start getting foamy. Okay, the egg whites have started to foam up, and I'm going to add about a 1/4 teaspoon or so of cream of tartar. This helps stabilize the egg whites. And once I get that going again, I'm going to start adding a cup of sugar. The formula I use for these is 1/3 cup of sugar for each egg white. I finished adding all the sugar, and now I'm going to use a spatula to just wipe down the side of the bowl, since some of the sugar does stick to the side, and we'll just give this a quick spin again. One more scrape and we should be there. I'm going to add about a 1/2 teaspoon of mint flavoring. And using the end of my teaspoon, I'm going to put in a little bit of green food coloring. This is a paste coloring. You can use a couple of drops of liquid. Always err on the side of less first. You can always add more. If you make it too dark, you're done. And I think that is just about the perfect color. I'm just going to give this another little mix, and then I'll be ready to put it into my pastry bag. All right, now to pipe out these little kisses, I've got a star tube. This is an Atico number 6. It's quite large, as you can see, and I'm using a 16-inch pastry bag. And what you want to do is insert the tube and then just sort of twist the end, stick it in a little bit so that whatever you're using doesn't fall out until you're ready to have it come out. I'm going to fold this over this large glass, which may or may not be big enough for this, but we'll see. And I'm just going to scoop this mixture in. The color isn't quite mixed through, I can see at the bottom, so I'll just give it a stir. All right. I've got my cookie sheet lined with parchment paper, and I have my oven preheated at 300 degrees. All I'm going to do is pipe out little stars of this meringue mixture. You just squeeze and then release the pressure before you take the bag up. If meringue kisses are not your thing, or if you would just like some variety, try making some peppermint sticks. And it's just the same method. Just flip the tail back a little bit. And once these are baked, of course, we're going to finish them off with a dip in some lovely dark chocolate. All right, my oven is at 300 degrees. I'm just going to pop these in, and I'm going to let them bake for about an hour, and then I'm going to turn the heat off and just leave them until they cool in the oven. And then we're going to dip these in some beautiful dark chocolate. You've made some beautiful cookies and you want to dip them in chocolate or cover them in chocolate. And if you just melt the chocolate, what's going to happen is your cookies are going to end up with streaky, dull chocolate. They're not going to look like those professional cookies. So what you need to do is temper your chocolate. And I'm going to show you just how simple it is to do that. Whenever you're going to do it, you chop your chocolate fairly finely, and you're going to put about half of it in a heat-proof bowl and put it over a double boiler. In this case, I'm just using a pot. I'll move this handle around, and my bowl fits in there nicely. The other half of your chocolate you chop again, and you reserve that, and we're going to be using that later. So what I'm going to do is just gently stir this until it melts. We want to get the chocolate to between 110 and 115 degrees. The best thing to check that with is an instant read thermometer. This is a pretty fancy one, but I do like it. It's extremely accurate and extremely fast. But any good instant read thermometer will do just fine. This is melting nicely. What you want to really make sure is that you never get any water anywhere near your chocolate. Chocolate and water absolutely do not mix. I removed the bowl from the double boiler and dried it carefully. As I said before, the last thing you want in chocolate is even the slightest drop of water. I'm going to check the temperature. It should be right at about 110 degrees. Close enough. I know that it's not going to go above 110, so we're in good shape. Now at this point, I'm going to start adding the rest of the chopped chocolate, just a little bit at a time. And you're going to stir this vigorously until it melts. And the more and the harder you stir it, the more beautiful your final product will be. You can't use a mixer for this because we don't want to incorporate air. We just want to stir it. What you're doing, apparently, I'm no chemist, but what you're doing is remixing the molecules of the chocolate so that they're evenly distributed. And we'll just keep doing this until all of this chocolate is incorporated and melted. All right, I'm ready to add the last little bit of chocolate. And get that stirred in and melted, and we'll be ready to start dipping. Chocolate is right about at 90 degrees, which is exactly where we want it to be. And we're now ready to start dipping. Just give it one last good stir. All right. Take one of the stars, push it in just to cover the edge, and with a fork lift it out and just sort of scrape off the edge a little bit and put it down on your wax paper. And continue with the rest of these. Let me show you first how one of the little sticks will look. These are actually much easier to do. And when these dry, they'll be beautiful and shiny and lovely. I hope you'll give these a try. For further information and even more recipes, please visit my website.